All right, welcome everybody. Appreciate you joining a special edition of the Jade Factory being broadcast out on Zoom. Thank you all for joining. We're going to be doing a special business partner onboarding session. So I got a recording going on this. I'm going to have the lines muted out. If you got anything urgent, let me know, but definitely any questions that you have, pop those into the chat session so I don't miss any of them. And we are going to get rolling. So for you all that don't know me, my name is Casey Salgi. I am the leader of the Jade Factory, and I'm super excited to have you on board and on our team. We've got an amazing organization. We do some amazing things together, and we impact a lot of lives along the way. So if you're joining us tonight, we're going to be going over a very special topic, which is business partner onboarding. So I'm going to share my screen and go through a slideshow to be able to keep us on track and be able to have something that you all can reference. We are recording tonight's video, and so we'll be able to share this with anybody that wasn't able to join us tonight. So with that said, my name's Casey Salgi. I am super pumped to be able to share this with you all, and I want to jump right into it on our business partner onboarding. So first thing that I want to mention to you is that you have made a fantastic decision to get started with us. I'm moving my screen over here so that the recording will show up and not cut off any of the slides. So first thing that I want to mention about this is that anything that you get started with, it can be scary. Anything new, it can be, you have that trepidation. It's like, man, what did I get myself into? Is this the right thing for me? And I can tell you that this was absolutely the greatest decision that you can make for a business. And the reason for that is the lowest risk business that you can possibly get for the highest reward potential. If you look at any businesses out there, if you've got a vision of being able to get started in any type of business, the startup costs alone are pretty brutal in any type of business. You can't get a lemonade stand started up for what it costs you to get started with Kyani. And then when you look at all the things that you don't have to deal with, when you understand that you don't have any of those things to do, the potential for the reward that you can get on this, the payout that they have is incredible. On top of that, the amazing supportive team. You'll notice that the Jade Factory is just a little bit different, well, probably a lot different than any other organization you've seen because of our mission, and that is to go out and impact other people's lives. And when you do that, when you have that enlightened self-interest to be able to help somebody else, you get so much in return, and that's what we have in place here. Your family is going to be very proud of what you accomplish with a business like this because it is a true win-win-win situation. You are most importantly going to help another human being with their wealth, with their health, with their time, with the significance, the needs and the desires that they have. And by being able to help them achieve that, you're going to be able to achieve the same. And that is an awesome thing. So if you're a little freaked out, a little worried, don't worry. You've absolutely made a fantastic decision. The next thing I want to talk about is what is it that we do in network marketing. There are 4 things that we do in our profession, and make no mistake about it, this is a profession. You might be an electrician, you might be a plumber, you might be a roofer, you might be a project manager, you might be a firefighter, you might be a police officer, you might be a nurse, you might be a school teacher. Whatever those things I just mentioned are professions. There are skills that are associated with it. There are ways of doing things in those professions that work, and there's ways of doing things in those professions that don't work so well. What I'm letting you know is that network marketing is a profession. We treat it as such. And to really bring you into the fold so that you understand what it is that you're joining, there are 4 main things that we do in our profession. The first thing that we do is we recommend products by word of mouth advertising. Now, what's interesting about this is you've been doing this already for a very long time. Whatever walk of life you're in, I can guarantee you have recommended something, some other type of product or business to other people. The thing is, we don't even think about it. It happens so often. I'll give you a prime example. Have you ever recommended to your friends to go to a specific restaurant? Have you ever mentioned to them that they need to watch a specific movie? Or maybe they need to go out and read a specific book? If you've done any of those things, you have made a recommendation. You have recommended something by your word of mouth advertising. Now, what's word of mouth advertising? Why is it so powerful? Because it is the best form of advertising. Ask anybody, you ask them, what's the most powerful form of advertising? They will reply word of mouth advertising. And they'll say it without even knowing why. Let me explain that. The key thing is that they have trust. The people that you talk to have trust with you. And when you recommend something, you are going to recommend something to them that meant something to you. You're not just going to go recommend some other thing when you don't know anything about it. People just don't do that. And so in this type of business, you're actually going to get paid for those recommendations. Now, when that happens, some people get a little weird feeling of, oh, I'm being paid for this. Don't have a problem with that, okay? What you're going to be referring and what you're going to be recommending is one of the best things that you could possibly give to another human being on this planet, all right? The amount of time, effort, energy, research, trials, tribulations, everything that's gone into this over 13 plus years into these products, I can assure you it is some of the best stuff you can put in your body. And that's not just me. There are so many studies, there's so many doctors, there's so many nutritionists, so much information goes into that. That's why this is a very powerful thing to do, and you already know how to do it. So don't worry about learning that. You already know what you're doing. The second thing we do is we recruit other business partners. Now, this will freak some people out, but with the Jade Factory system that I'm going to explain to you tonight, you're going to see that this is an extremely simple thing to do. If you've ever had a conversation with somebody at a grocery store, then you already know how to do what we do in this business. Something that's very interesting is that a lot of people will have a closed mind. They will have a mental block that they can't do something. That's based upon history. It's based upon their past. It's based upon they've tried something or they've never done it before and they failed, or they've never done it and they have no idea, but there is a fear that I'm going to mess it up, I'm going to do it wrong. Okay, that's based on prior knowledge. That's a very powerful thing to have past experience to be able to help guide you in the future. But it is not the same thing as acting in the future. And so nobody says no to what we do. They say no to what they think they have to do something. In this business, let me show you how to do this. When you read this, and as you read through the entire everything I show you, you will never see anywhere where I say that you sell anything or you sell people. It is such a common misconception that gets planted in somebody's brain that this is sales. I can assure you this is not sales whatsoever. All right. So keep that in the back of your mind. Keep an open mind on this part, because this is a block that people have. And I'm going to destroy that one tonight as we go through this. The third thing that we do in this business is we duplicate the process. Duplication is such a key thing that we do in network marketing. And let me make a quick distinction here. When somebody is an entrepreneur, there's two types of entrepreneurs. Some people think of being a self-employed entrepreneur. They think that they've got to open up a sandwich shop, as an example. And if they opened up a sandwich shop, they think in their head that they got to be the one that opens the doors each day. They got to clean the floors. They got to get the bread. They got to get the condiments. They got to get all the stuff that goes into the sandwich. They got to make the sandwich. They got to serve the sandwich. They got to get the cashiers, be the cashier, get the money, fix the drink machine, and do all of these things. And when people hear that, they have fear of, I don't have time to do all these things, because I've got it in my head that that's how you're supposed to do business. Now, if you open up your mom and pop sandwich shop on the corner, that might be the case. But think of a Jimmy John's or any national chain of sandwich shops that there are. Is the owner of that sandwich shop in there putting mayonnaise on the bread? No, they're not doing that. They actually have a system in place where a whole bunch of people are a part of that system, but they're not the ones making the sandwich. When we do duplication with this business, and I'll show you how that goes, you'll start seeing that this is about making a whole bunch of franchises in your organization. It's not about you always going out there and making sandwiches. Now, when you buy a Jimmy John's or a Subway or any of those sandwich shops, you're going to go through a training and you're going to learn how to make sandwiches. But you're not doing that so that you can make sandwiches forever. You're doing that for a temporary amount of time so that you can get the systems in place for them to go. That is exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to show you how the duplication kicks in as the third thing that we do in this profession. The fourth thing that we do is we use leadership development to grow the organization. Okay? It's not going to grow magically on its own. You're going to have to grow. You're going to have to improve. And we look for leaders in the organization for that to continue on. And so if you're looking for a career, if you're looking for a way to improve yourself, you have come to a very great place. You might not be looking for any of that. You might not want to get into that. And that is absolutely okay. And you can still make a tremendous amount of money in this profession without doing all of these parts. But if you get all 4 of these parts right and you learn them, and we're going to teach you how to do that, you're going to see some major, major, unbelievable increases and changes in your life, transformations even. So the next thing, network marketing is the best form of entrepreneurship. I did not say network marketing is perfect. It is not perfect. But I am saying that network marketing is the best form of entrepreneurship. And I have existed in a lot of different ways of making money in the cash flow quadrant. I have been an employee. I have been a self-employed business owner. I have been a true business owner. I have been an investor. Those are the 4 different ways that most people are going to make money in some form or fashion. And I can tell you that network marketing occupies 2 specific spots. It occupies the self-employed person that's opening up, making their sandwiches, and it also exists in the business owner level of entrepreneurship. And if you build it the way that we show you to build it through the Jade Factory processes and systems, you'll see that it is a way to be able to have this exist in that top quadrant where you're not the one that's being there all the time. Why is it better? Because in most businesses, you're going to have employees. You're going to have products. You're going to have facilities. You're going to have logistics, shipping, product creation, product development, product shipping, logistics for all of that, insurance, HR, just so many different things. In network marketing, you don't have any of those, none of those. And that is the thing that sinks most ships in business, is learning how to do all those things. Do you have your accounting background? Do you have your HR background? Do you have your law degree? Do you have all the things that you know everything about? You got to figure those things out in a traditional business. Here, we don't have to mess with any of that. We're partnered with billionaires that take care of that part. We just have to do a couple of key things, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So if you're looking on this, why didn't I say it's perfect? Because there's a big catch, and this is the catch that sinks a lot of people. And let me tell you, that is right here. The catch is you're going to have to temporarily endure the opinions of uneducated people. That is a tough row to hoe for a lot of people. A lot of people cannot get past that. If you are going to be influenced by the opinions of others, you're going to have a short career in network marketing. I'm just being straight up honest with you and being completely open with you. But if you can get past the opinions of people that don't know what they're talking about, there are so many people. It is an uneducated population about what this truly is. Okay? And my job is to guide you on a path to show you how what we have is the best form of entrepreneurship you're going to come across. I promise you. Okay? And so to overcome that, one of the best things you can do is to check out a documentary called Rise of the Entrepreneur. Okay? You can find it online. It's about 52 minutes long. I highly recommend, write that one down for your notes. Rise of the Entrepreneur. Look that up. Watch that. Watch it all the way through, about 52 minutes. And it is a fantastic documentary that talks about entrepreneurship and talks about how network marketing fits in there and gives some amazing information about what it is that we do on a global level. And you will be blown away. Highly recommend that you take a look at that. This is a franchise-like opportunity without all the franchise headaches. I was talking about all those earlier. Just remember that key point. You don't have to start at Jimmy John's, folks. You're looking at $400,000 just to get the door open. Okay. You spent somewhere between $6,000 to $2,000 to be able to get started in this business. That is pennies for being able to have what it is that we can make here. If you open a McDonald's, it's about $1.4 million. The average McDonald's makes about $100,000 a year. That means you got to be in business for 14 years before you break even. 14 years. Now, who here, if I gave you a McDonald's franchise, would be super excited about me just giving it to you? Everybody would be excited about that because you know it's going to work. The issue with network marketing and why so many people jump out is that the price to get in is so low. The barrier of entry is so low that it's easier for people to be able to get started in this. But if they treat it like a $400 or $500 bet, like a $400 or $500 scratch-off lottery ticket, if they do that and they don't win, they move on. Here, if you had a McDonald's, you don't quit. You keep learning how to do it. You go to Hamburger University. You keep figuring out. You follow the system to a T. If you've ever walked into a McDonald's, where's the French fry machine in a McDonald's? You walk up to the counter. You're looking at the cashier. Which side is it on? It's on the left-hand side every single time. Why is it there? I have absolutely no idea. I don't own a McDonald's. But if I did, there would be a manual, and it would say exactly why the French fry machine goes over there. You don't go buy a $1.4 million franchise for a McDonald's, grab the French fry machine and move it to the middle of the lobby and say, we'll figure it out. This looks like fun. We'll put it over there and try something different. You guys probably don't even really know what you're doing about making hamburgers. So since you wouldn't do that with a McDonald's, I encourage you not to come in and try to do that with this. You have bought a franchise-like opportunity. It is not a franchise. Let me be clear. But it is a franchise-like opportunity. There is a system that is as baked as how they make those fries at McDonald's, okay? The difference is the stuff that we're putting into people's body is actually going to help them live an amazing life, whereas I can't say the same for one of those McDonald's. And so if you'll simply follow our process like you would in a McDonald's and understand what it is that you have a hold of, you will be absolutely blown away by what this does for your family. So take a look at that video, Rise of the Entrepreneur, on YouTube. Next thing I want to do, I want to set your expectations. This is very important to do. So first thing I want you to understand is that if you succeed in this business, it will be 100% because of you. Conversely, if you fail in this business, it will be 100% because of you. Okay? I don't want for this to be harsh. I don't want this to sound mean. But I do want to set realistic expectations with you, is that you have joined a business. You have started a business. Now, some people start businesses and they treat them like hobbies, and that is absolutely fine. All right. But I do want you to know that your success or failure in this is not to be pushed onto anybody else. Anybody that opens their doors of their own business knows that it is on them. There is no cavalry that's coming. There is nobody that's going to swoop in and save the day. All right. So if you have any issues in this, you're going to have issues. We're here to help. I am letting you know that we are here to help you. Our job is to help you become independent of us as soon as possible. We're here to guide you, to help you, to show you a process on how you can do this business. There are multiple ways that you can do this business, but we're going to show you our way of doing it, the Jade Factory way of being able to do this business. And I think when you get done looking at it, you're going to go, you know what? I can do that. And you know what? That's simple. And you know what? I think this is going to work. And when you see that, that's when you know you have a true system that you'll be able to follow. But I want to be real clear. It is going to be up to you. So get your mind right on this, is that you are in business. You are in this to win it. We're going to help you every step along the way, but you are ultimately responsible with this. Now, next thing I want to talk about is the good days versus the bad days. Okay. And if you just got started and every day's been good, I want to give you a heads up. The bad days will show up. If they haven't shown up, they're on their way. Okay. Because here's the deal. When you join this business, we didn't turn off gravity. We didn't take the oxygen off the planet. There's still people running around. It's still Earth. It's still going to be good days and bad days. The wind is going to blow on us all. But there's a really good extra part to that. It's the set of your sail that is going to make the difference on how you traverse the good days and the bad days. So here's rule number one. When you have a bad day, don't quit on a bad day. I would highly recommend you never quit, but you sure as heck don't quit on, and I misspelled quit, don't quite, but that should be quit. Don't quit on a bad day. All right. Very, very important. Now, rule number two, we're going to know it's a bad day when you start coming up missing. Okay. When we can't find you, when you're not plugged in, when you're not joining us at some of our big events, when you're not coming on to the online sessions, when you're not making it to any of the conventions, when we call and you don't answer, when we text and you don't respond, when we don't see anything out of you, we're going to know that it's been a bad day. Okay. So we know that's happening. When that happens, our job is to come check on you. Okay. Now here's the deal. The lion is going to chase everybody at some point. You're going to have some things go wrong. When that happens, you're going to run up a tree. If a lion's chasing you, what do? You're out in the savannah. You see a lion coming. You take off running because he's chasing you. You see a tree. You run up the tree. He can't get up on that tree, and you're hanging out there. Now, When you're in that tree, we're going to notice because you're not at the campfire, and we're going to come looking for you. When we do, there's two ways we can do this. We can climb up the tree, grab you up there in the branch and pull you back down, or we can hang out, make a little campfire underneath the branch and wait for you to come down. It's up to you. Some people don't want to be messed with. They want to process, they want to handle their stuff, and they want to get it all figured out. When they're done getting it all done, then they'll come down. If that's you, cool. Other people are going to be up there not knowing what to do. They're like, yeah, would you come get me? I'm really not quite sure how I get back down out of this tree. That's your call, okay? The important thing that I'd like for you to do before the lion shows up is to let us know. Get with the person that brought you into the business. Get with your shooter. If you've sat with any of the leaders in the organization, let them know, hey, when I have a bad day, this is what I'd like you to do. Because we keep up with this. And that's something that's important for us to know how you operate the best. Next thing, become a raving fan. All right. So what do I mean by that? Let's say that you just opened a pizza restaurant. Would you invite your family to come join you for some pizza? Of course. You're sitting down, they're all having pizza. They look at you and they say, Casey, what's your favorite pizza? What if I replied, pizza? I don't eat pizza. That would be the weirdest thing ever. You just opened a business, all right? It would be very weird if you were not using the product, all right? We have 3 different lines of the product, and we actually have a 4th one when you talk about the potato pack. I would highly recommend that you become a raving fan with this product, with this company. If you're going to open the doors and you all have yourselves a website that is your e-commerce site, you are open on a global basis in 65 countries, 40 different languages, you are open for business all around the world. I highly recommend that you become a customer, okay? So why would you do that? First is you're going to make a profit. And one of the great sayings out there is profits are better than wages. All right. Wages is when you trade time for money. Profit is when you have something out there that somebody sees as valuable and they're going to exchange dollars for it. And that's what you're going to be able to do. You're going to be able to be your own customer. It will be the same as if you went in as a business partner purchasing the product. If you go in as your own customer and purchase the product, it's going to be much better. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that here in just a second. The other reason that you want to be your own customer is you want to build your product testimony. You want to be able to tell other people what this has done for you, because that question is going to be asked. When you have people at your pizza restaurant, they're going to say, what do you like? Well, I like this one, and here's why. You need to be able to have an answer to that. And when you first get started, you can use somebody else's testimony, but you want to be able to build yours as quick as possible, and that's why you need to be a customer. It will help you be a qualified distributor in this business. A qualified distributor means somebody that can receive checks, okay? If you just joined, you're already qualified for your first month because you got yourself a package if you did the $3.99 or higher. And if you do that, that means you're qualified. Why? Because you have points that are coming in through your personal site, okay? When you became a business partner and you did the $3.99 or higher, you got a package, you got a box, there's product in that, and that's enough to qualify you. But that's for the first month. After that, you don't buy another box. You don't buy another big box of this. You can only join one time. And so you need to be qualified. To be qualified, we're going to talk about that in a second, but you're going to need so many points. This will help you get qualified. And I'll go into those points here in just a second. Auto ship. The key to this is being on auto ship. Make as many things as you can in your life simple by putting them on auto. Okay, I have alarms for everything I do. I have bills that get paid automatically. Why? Because that's less things that I need to worry about. Setting yourself up for auto ship for being a customer is one of the most important things that you can do. There is nobody that is extremely successful in this business that is not on auto ship. I promise you, you want to be on auto ship. So let me show you real quick on how to do that. So if you log into your back office, and I'm going to make a couple of assumptions. If any of these assumptions don't hold and you get lost or you got any questions, get again with your business partner and have a chat with them. But when you come into your back office, I was in here looking at a couple things, so I just left it here. But you'll come into your main page and you have all these different options. So no matter where you're at, if you'll hover over the shop button, logged in as you in your back office, so you can see that I'm logged in here in the back. You see it's green because I'm in Emerald. You see all of my Kyani Care, $337,000 in that account. It's incredible what they do. So all that's sitting there. And you look over here and you see this shop button. So you're in the back office. That's how you know. You see shop and you click on the shopping cart. Okay. When you do that, it's going to open up a new window. And it's going to log in and it's going to say, welcome, your name, and it'll have your business partner ID. Okay. When that happens, that lets you know that you are logged in as a business partner. Okay. We want to make a quick little change. If you click on this little button right here, it's got the little down arrow anywhere along there, it pops up and you have an option that says switch to personal shopping. Okay. When you do that, what it's going to do is log you in as the customer side, as the customer entity into your store. And so now it's going to say Casey, welcome Casey, and it's going to have, and I might have timed out, no, it's good. It's going to have a little C at the end of it right here. It's going to have this number and a C, and that's how I know that I'm in as my customer. If I click on it again, it'll say that I could switch back to the other way. So this is what you're looking for is the C, all right? If you go into categories, I highly recommend at a minimum that you go to the Triangle of Health and you get yourself set up for the Triangle Extreme with the packets. And you're looking at $114.95 right here. Okay. So I highly recommend that you log in and you become your own customer by purchasing at least this. Now I'm going to make a couple other recommendations to you. I highly recommend that you also get the one with the potato pack. Okay. Because the significance of what that potato pack does, an extra $24.95 is going to absolutely change a family's life. You're going to be able to feed people that are not getting enough food because that doesn't just show up out of nowhere. The business owners of this, the founders, give so much money into the potato packs. We can help them and multiply the efforts. That's truly the heartbeat of the company. So scroll through here, find the one that's got the Extreme Kyani Extreme Triangle of Health pack with potato pack. Just so you know, about a year and a half ago, the price of the Triangle of Health, this right here, was $154.95. Our company's so freaking awesome that they've lowered the price on this to make this open to even more people. Okay, so if you were to go back in the past and say, man, I wish I would have learned about Kyani 2 years ago. If you were on the product, it would have cost you $154.95. You can get it for $5 cheaper than what we had to pay, and you're going to feed a family of 5. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that you pick this option here. If you don't want the Extreme and you want the regular FX, then you can pick this one. I highly recommend the Extreme. By the way, it's got 5 extra things that every doctor, every nutritionist will say is very, very good. Some people might not want it, so I get it. So one of these 2 packs right here, I would highly recommend that you pick this and then you set it up for auto ship. And as you go through, you'll see a little button that says, click here for auto ship. All right, real quick, I see a question. Cool. All right, so let me move back to the presentation. And we've talked about this. Let's move on. The next thing that I want to talk about is I want you to understand the compensation plan at least to the rank of Jade. I don't need you to understand it all the way to double black diamond. I don't need you to understand it to diamond. I don't need you to understand it to any of these other ranks. I want you to set your first goal line at Jade. Why Jade? Because it's the name of our group. It's called the Jade Factory. So we need you to get to that core rank, and the core rank is Jade. And that's why I set it up this way. So a couple of key things that I need you. Now, here's the thing on what I'm getting ready to go over. If you don't get all this the first time, don't worry about it. Watch the replay, look at it a couple times, ask questions in Power Hour, and get that exposure within the groups and with the leaders and say, hey, I need you to explain this. I didn't quite get all that. So if you don't get this first time, don't worry, but it's pretty simple. So let me explain a few things. First is 150 QV. That stands for qualifying volume. You need that to be a qualified distributor, and that's going to be the first thing that you need to do to be able to reach Jade. So how do you do that? What we just did on the previous screen by being a customer is going to cause QV to happen in your organization. you being on auto ship is going to count towards this 150 QV. Okay, and it's going to count a lot. I think it's almost 100 points just doing the auto ship on the Triangle of Health with the potato pack. Okay, and in fact, I'm going to go verify that right now. If I click on it, I don't know if it'll tell me on this screen, but yep, there it is right there. 100 QV right here. Okay, for being on the auto ship of getting your product and making a donation to the potato pack. Okay, that is huge. Folks, watch any video about the Kyani Care potato packs. If you don't grab for a handkerchief to wipe your eyes, you need a checkup from the neck up, man. It is incredible what this organization does and how many people they help. All right, so back to this, 150 to be qualified. Just being on the auto ship of that would be 100 of those points. Get one customer and boom, you're qualified. Next thing, to be Jade, you need 2,000 QV in your total organization. That means you, all of the customers that you bring on, all of the business partners, and all of the customers that those business partners bring on, and all of the business partners that they bring on, and all of their customers, and so on and so forth through the entire organization. All of that rolls up, and we add all of the transactions, and when that number hits 2,000, you've got your second check mark on what you need to be able to accomplish. The next thing that you need to be a Jade is in your organization, you're going to have two legs, two teams. And on these two teams, most likely one of them is going to be bigger than the other one, okay? Whichever one's smaller, you need to have at least 800 points in that smaller leg to be able to get qualified as a Jade. So those are the three main things that you need to do. Now, I want to give you a couple of assumptions, and then I'm going to draw this out with a simple example. There's 1,000 permutations to this. I just want you to get a hint of this so that you can get a feel for what work it is that we need to do to get you over this goal line so we can get you to Jade as quick as possible, okay? So a couple things on there. If you enrolled at the $399 package, there's 200 QV that came with that package, okay? If you did the $599 package, there's 500 QV that's going to come with that package. If you did any of the larger packages, it's still going to be 500 points for the first month, and then there will be additional points that will happen each month after that, and a lot of times that will be enough to have you qualified right out of the gate. So if you got one of those big packages, if you got the $2,000 package, you have your 500 points this month, and you're qualified for every month for the next 6 months, all right? So you're set on that. But I'm going to focus just on these two to give you an idea and explain this key concept here. The other information that I want to give you is we just saw that Triangle of Health with the potato pack was 100. Let's assume that your customer just wants to get the Triangle of Health. You're going to get the Triangle of Health plus the potato pack because you're going to want to feed some starving families and set that to auto ship. And the person that gives, it is a guaranteed law of nature that you receive. Okay, and so, but maybe your customers just want to be Triangle of Health customers. They get 75 points for that. And then we're going to show you a diagram on how that works out right here. So let's say that you just got started, okay? And so Casey just joined the team. He's super excited, a little nervous, getting this all figured out. Now I'm in the business, all right? And let's say that I came in at the $599 package. All right, that means that I have 500 QV in my organization because I am a force of one right now. All right, now let's say that I go out and I get the Triangle of Health with the potato pack. I get put on auto ship. I become a little customer. That's the little lollipop that comes up top there. Okay, that means that right there was worth 100 points. Okay. Now, let's say that I follow the process, I do all the things, and I acquire another business partner in my organization. So I'm talking to a guy named Al, and Al chooses to join the business. He chooses, and he says, Casey, what package did you come in at? I said, Al, I don't know what I'm doing. They recommended that $599. It made a lot of sense to me. That's what I did. He says, well, I'm going to do the same thing. And so Al comes in at $599, and that's worth 500 points. All right, I talked to another person, Bill. Now, Bill and Al don't know each other, and so I decided to put Bill in my second leg, my second team, And he's the top of my second team. Al's the top of my first team. And Al says, Casey, what package did you come in at? I said, I came in at the $599, and so did Al. He said, well, that looks good. I want to do that too. And so he comes in for the the $599 package. He gets 500 points. Then I talked to Chuck, and Chuck and Al happen to know each other. We all play tennis together. And so Chuck joins the business. He says, guys, which one did y'all do? He said, we did the $599. Chuck, which one you want to do? He says, I want to do the same. So he joins, and it came in at 500 points. Now, how many points do you have in your organization as a whole? You got 500 here, 500 here, 500 here, 500 here, and 100 up here. That's 2,100 points. Now, if I go back, you'll see that you need 2,000 points as one of the requirements. Awesome. Now, since I just joined, I had 500 points and 100 points. I've got 600 points going on in my organization, so I'm qualified because I needed 150 personal. And if I look at this, I'll notice that this right here is my largest leg. Why? Because it's got 1,000 points in it. If I look at this leg, it's got 500 points in it. That means it's smaller. I'm having fun now. So since that's the smaller leg, I look at that and I say, I need 800 points in my smaller leg. Man, it doesn't look like I'm there. But wait, what about this guy up here? That guy, you go automatically into your smallest leg. So check this out. I've got 500 points for Bill, 500 points for me, and 100 points for the customer that I got, also me. And so I've actually got 1,100 points in my smaller leg. But Casey, 1,100 is more than 1,000. Work with me on this. They look at it before they apply your points to it. Okay? So because of this, I've got a check mark here, and I got 600 points up here, check mark there. Boom, boom, boom. 2,000 total, 800 in the smaller, and 150 at least to be qualified. I'm golden. I'm a jade. High fives all around, balloons, all kinds of good stuff. Okay? That's what you're looking to be able to achieve. All right? Now, can you do this different ways? Of course. What if these guys came in at $399? Well, then you would have, if everybody on the screen came in at $399, you'd have 200, 200, 200, 200, you'd have 800 points. So you got some more work to do. Okay? What if somebody came in and brought in 10 people? Well, then that's going to go a whole lot faster. What if somebody brought in 10 customers and was the top producing customer enroller on planet Earth right now, like Amanda and Mark have been here lately, and they're on global leaderboards for all the customers that they're helping with this? What is that? That's 75 points for each one of those customers. Those all add up. And customers are key because next month they're going to order the product. And next month after that, they're going to order the product. And that volume keeps showing every single month. That's very powerful. So that's how you make it to the rank of Jade when you first get started. All right? Now let's move on to the next part. Step 8. I'm going to grab a quick sip of water. Time and task management. All right. This is very important because most people have it in their head they're W-2 employees. They work for somebody. And what that means is time equals money. And that's what you're used to. That's what you do. You go spend time, they send you a check. You don't spend time, they don't send you a check. That's just how it goes. And so when you think about this, is well, Casey, if I want to make a lot of money, I got to put in a lot of time. That is the biggest fallacy, and that is the one that keeps the majority of people in that little box of being an employee. It really does. There's nothing wrong with being an employee. I have no problem with I was an employee for a long time. If you choose to do that, cool. You probably choose for a little bit more. That's why you're here. But to get here, to truly get here, you got to break some of that old baggage that you're carrying around, some of those things that you're used to people telling you, okay? And so it's very important to not think that this is going to take you a lot of time, but it is going to take some time. It's going to take a little bit of time. And so what you need to do is you need to decide how much time are you going to be in business with your new business. If you had a sandwich shop, you were going to have hours of operation. You're going to know that you're going to open at 10 o'clock so that you can catch those early people that come in for lunch. You're going to maybe shut down at 2 o'clock because that's the end of your lunch crowd. If you're a sandwich shop, maybe you open for dinner. You're going to have all these things nailed down for when people are going to be wanting to be able to do this and when you're available to be able to run your business. With this type of business, it's a very special business. There is not a brick and mortar. There is no location. You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to pay insurance. You don't have to pay taxes on the end of that. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Now, I'm not saying you don't pay taxes on your money that you're going to make. I'm just saying you don't have to pay property taxes on having a location. So because of that, you get to pick and choose when you're going to be open for business. What I tell people when they do this is to do this business in 15-minute increments. Okay. When you see the system and you see the steps of what you're actually going to be doing, and we haven't got to that, we're just setting the stage right now. But when you're doing the actual thing that we do, if it's taking you more than 15 minutes, you're most likely not doing it as well as you could be doing it. So when you do this business, say, man, I don't have a whole lot of time. That's fine. Nobody does. You don't have an extra 4 hours all lumped together that you can go, what am I going to do for 4 hours today? That's not going to be the case. All right. But you might have an hour. You might have an hour and a half. If you have an hour and a half, you got 6 of these increments. The key is making sure you're spending these increments on the right things. I promise you, getting your desk organized is not one of the 5 things. Getting organized is a great thing, but it doesn't make you any money. Okay. The 5 things I'm going to show you on here is going to get you where you're making money. There's a great analogy that John Maxwell uses, and he got it, I think, from Lincoln. And they asked Lincoln, and they said, "Hey, if you needed to fell a tree, if you needed to get your axe and knock this tree down, how would you go about doing it?" And he said, "I'd go in there and I'd sharpen my axe until it was razor sharp, and I would go and I would swing 5 very specific times on this tree, and then I would put the axe down and I would go on with my day, and I would come back tomorrow and I would do it again." 5 more swings. That's what this is based on. Because if you did that 5 swings a day, would you knock the tree over? Would it fall down? Yes. How long is it going to take? I don't know. I don't know how great of a swing. I don't know if you're chopping here and then some up here and some over here. I don't know if you're using the side of the axe. I don't know if you're using the sharp end of the axe. I don't know if you're using the wood part of the axe. Okay. But I know if you do it right and you follow how we swing the axe, you will fell that tree if you stay persistent. And that's what this is based on. So what are the 5 things that you need to do every single day? The 5 things you need to do, the first one is you need to use the product every day to build your story and to get yourself healthier than you currently are. If you don't yet have a story, and somebody wants to know your story, you can use somebody else's story in the meantime. Say, look, I just got started, but let me tell you what I know about what this product has done for other people. And you will hear stories all over the place. If you're looking for one, go look at Miss Emily's Facebook profile and go look at what she's been putting out on Facebook. If you need somebody's story and you want to get somebody's attention, go read what it's done for her. Go read what it's done for Miss Tara Bush, Miss Amanda Foster, Mr. David Jones. Go out there and ask them what it's done for them. Emily's been in for less than or right over a month now. And her stories are so absolutely incredible. Not from incredible like this is unbelievable, I can't get my head wrapped around it, in that it's such a transformational change. So use the product every day to be able to build that story. It will get attention. The second thing that we need to do every day is we need to have conversations with people that have a health need. You know right now people that are unhealthy. They tell you all the time. If you spend a little bit of time thinking about this with a piece of paper and a pen, you will come up with a list of a couple people that could use some more health in their life. Every day, you want to have conversations with these people. Well, Casey, I just don't have that much time. Let's go back to the original statement. 15-minute increments. How many people can you talk to and have a conversation? I'll give you all those details on how we do that coming up. Task number 3, have conversations every day with people that have a health, a time, or a significance need. Okay? Anybody that you know that would like to make more money. Anybody that you know that would like to get into a new house, get a car, pay off college debt, go to school, get another degree, send their kids to college, have more time with their family, have more significance on what they're actually doing, actually mean something. If you run into anybody like that, and you just need to spend a second thinking about them, you will identify them, you'll know what their need is, go have a conversation with them every day. Task 4, event promotion with your organization every day. Well, Casey, I joined yesterday and I don't have a team yet. So what do I do here? You make sure you are going to the event. You make sure you promote it in your own head that you're going to the event. Remember, if you ain't by the campfire, we got to go find you. All right. So make sure you're around the campfire. Make sure you're hanging out with us and getting yourself around the right people. Being at this event. This was an event. This is a special thing. You're here. How did you get here? How did you know it? Somebody promoted it to you. Somebody let you know. Or you heard it straight from my mouth and you said, I need to go to this. Next day, I need to go to this. And you promoted it in your own head until you were here. But every day, you need to make sure you know what events you're going to be going to. Personal development every day. You are the person that you are for a reason. The experiences that you've had, the knowledge that you've gained, the people that you've met, the books that you've read, the seminars you've gone to, the experiences that you've had. If you don't make changes in getting more information, different information, better information into this processor, then you will have very similar to the same results that you've been having for as long as you've been having them. If you feel that you're in a rut, you need to do something to get out of the rut. That's personal development. I have a whole system on that. I have a recommended book list. There's so much information on the Jade Factory Facebook page on this. Get with one of your leaders. Get with the person that brought you on. If you can't find them, reach out to me directly. Every day, these are the 5 things that you need to do. The next thing I want to talk about, step 9. And for those that are like, how many of these steps does this guy have? There's 13. All right. So we're almost done. All right. So step 9, telling your story. What do you mean by that? This is your safety net. All right. What's your story? Your story is your story. It's not somebody else's story. It's yours. That's why this is so powerful to get good at this. It's like, well, of course I know my own stories, but some of you don't know how to tell a story. If you have kids, you've probably had one of them say, hey, would you tell me a story? You're like, go away, kid. I don't have any stories. Or you're like, heck yeah, sit down. We're getting ready to weave a story. And they're like, oh, they're excited. People want to hear stories. That's why we go to the movies. That's why you watch Netflix and you binge watch like 1,400 episodes in a weekend. We like stories. All right. So you need to get good with what your story is with Kyani. It's real easy. It has 4 parts. The first part is your background. You need to tell them where you came from, what you do for a living. You want them to feel familiar with you. You want them to kind of have an idea of who you are. For me, my background is I was in corporate America, 20 plus years, cubicle life. Okay, I can kind of relate to that. I might not be sitting in a cubicle. I might be running into burning buildings because I'm a fireman like Joseph here. Or maybe I sit in a, but one way or the other, I kind of get where you're coming from based on your background. Part 2, what did I hate about my current situation? Well, Casey, hate is a strong word. Yeah, it is. There's something that you didn't like. What did I hate about my situation? In corporate America, I got really sick of spending more time in traffic than I was seeing my kids. Plain and simple. That's what I hated. I hated having to ask permission from somebody else, a grown adult, if I can take my family on vacation. There's something wrong with that. That doesn't fit well with me. That's what I didn't like about my situation. And then what was the epiphany that you had when Kyani came into your life? I realized that I could get started in this profession and I could start making more money coming into my mailbox than I was making by going and sitting in traffic, playing politics, dealing with everybody else's nonsense, and then turn around and doing it all over again the next day. So my big epiphany was when I found a product that was absolutely incredible and helped me sleep, and I saw a comp plan that changed my life, I jumped all in. That was my epiphany. And then step 4 is, what does your future look like with Kyani? Now my future is incredible. I've recently got retired from corporate America at the age of 42. I get to hang out with my 4 kids. I get to impact literally hundreds of thousands of lives. Life looks absolutely amazing. Real simple, nice, short, and sweet. Doesn't have to be profound. Doesn't have to be some big closing statements. That's not your job with the story. Your story is to be able to share and connect with another human being about what this is doing for you. You want them to know who you are. You want them to be able to connect. And out of all these parts, I'll tell you, this is weird, but human nature is the most important out of all of that is step number 2. What did you hate? Because when you start telling people what you hate, that whole sitting in traffic, more than I'm seeing my kids, people relate to that. They're going to be sitting in traffic tomorrow, and they're going to think about me, and they're going to go, son of a gun, I am sitting in traffic, and I'm not going to see my kids today. That sucks. I wonder what Casey's doing. Oh, that's right. He did that thing. There's a way out. That's why we do stories. So get real good at being able to do this. This should not take more than 3 minutes. When I say give your background, I don't say start at the creation of dirt and give me the whole timeline to get there. All right. Give me the pertinent information to give me a background. And you don't need to go into and start quoting times and scales. And then, oh, no, that's not right. It wasn't 4 years ago. It was 6 years ago. Nobody cares. All right. Nice, short and sweet. Give them the pertinent parts and practice this. The best way I learned to do this is sitting in traffic. It is the funniest thing because you got a full audience all around you in their cars, all different facial expressions. Look them in the eye and tell them your story when you're sitting right there and not moving. That's when you know you got this skill down, okay? It's a lot of fun. I want y'all to try that and tell me how it goes. Okay, step 10. We're going to enroll your first customer, all right? So here's what I want you to do. If you got pen and paper, I want you to start a list. I want you to make a list of the 10 most unhealthy people that you know. Now, I don't mean this in a bad way, okay? I don't mean to be calling them out. I'm speaking factual here. You know when people aren't doing so well. You know when people might be dealing with diabetes, maybe with their blood pressure. Maybe they're dealing with some lupus or some fibromyalgia, or they don't know what it is. Maybe they got PTSD because they were a first responder or they've been in the military, or some other traumatic event has happened to them. Maybe they don't sleep that well. Maybe they need to lose a couple pounds. Maybe their joints are all hurting them. Maybe they don't, just whatever the issues are, write down their name and write down the big thing that they're struggling with right now. Go ahead and spend just a few moments right now. I'm going to take a sip of water and start that process. At least get me 3 on this list. Before your head hits the pillow tonight, work on that until you get to 10. Now, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get writer's block. And make sure you write it with your hand, too. No typing on this one. You got to go old school with a pen or pencil on paper, and you need to write it out. Because when you do this, certain things start triggering in your brain. And it starts accessing some files in there that are buried that you haven't dusted off in a while. And when you do that, it'll take a little second, and then names are going to start pouring out of your brain like what turn the spigot off. And you're going to just keep writing them. Just keep writing them and keep going. And then tomorrow, some name's going to pop in your head. Bring this list with you and add to that list and keep adding to that. I didn't say reach out and start throwing up blueberries on these people. I said just write you a list and get this part nailed down. Okay? All right. What I want you to do is when you get your list and you get to 10, I want you to reach out to them. This is when you can put the pen down and you can pick up your phone, okay? And when you do this, I highly recommend that you text them or you use Facebook Messenger to send them a note. The reason for that is if you pick up the phone and you start calling them, you're going to freak out. And you're going to start getting all tongue-tied because you think you're supposed to do something that you're not supposed to do. So we're going to ease into this. And we're going to do this, okay, with these 2 little thumbs. Now, if you're real slow and you got to do index finger level, I'm cool with it. But if you can do it with your thumbs, that's best. I'm having fun again. Okay, so you're going to reach out to them. When you do, here's what you're going to do. You're going to say hi, okay? Everybody good? Everybody check this real quick. Is it elevated? You okay? All right, everybody's good. You're going to say hi. You might get crazy and say, hi, how are you doing? Or however it is you communicate and you have an opening statement like this. How's it going? What's up? Hey, girl, whatever it is that you're going to send it to them that you would normally send to them. All right? This is just to let them know I'm alive. Then you're going to ask them, because you know and you wrote their name and then you wrote this thing this thing, we're going to call that their XYZ, whatever their thing is. You're going to ask them, hey, are you still dealing with blah, 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 XYZ, high blood pressure, diabetes, PTSD, ADHD? Are you still taking your Adderall or your Vyvanse? You still having trouble sleeping? Are you still dealing with whatever? Ask them that question. What this does is it frames the conversation. It has a conversation with them about them, and it shows that you actually care about the other human being because you paid attention when they told you this in the past. Some people say, Casey, this is weird. Why would I do this? This is not about you. Anytime that pops up in your head, that's your little terrorist sitting on your shoulder, talking noise into your ear. It's selfish. You're worried about what they're going to think of you. I promise you, they're not going to worry about anything about you. They're going to want to know, why are you asking about this thing I'm dealing with? What do you have? Curiosity is going to be piqued. What are you asking about me for? That's very nice of you. Now my curiosity is piqued. Why are you asking about me? Yes, I am dealing with this. What do you say back? I'm sorry to hear you are still dealing with XYZ. What most people do in this business, I'm going to give you the first two landmines that they step on. The first landmine that they step on is that they want to go out and tell the whole world what it is that they're doing. I found this new thing. I am so excited about this. It's got blueberries and ashwagandha and broccoli and kale and spinach and noni and Idaho potatoes are in it, and it's crazy. There's so much stuff, and there's billionaires and trillionaires, and they're up in 7,800 countries, and man, you just start rattling off so much nonsense you don't know where you're coming from. Why? Because you're excited. I love the excitement, but nobody cares about you throwing up blueberries all over them. They're like, dude, bro, I don't care. Why are you telling me all this? What's in it for me? You've already irritated them. So don't even start with that. That's the first landmine that we step on. We become that guy. All right? Now, let me give you another example of that guy. I hope nobody takes offense. If you're in CrossFit, just close your ears for about 17 seconds. All right? Because if you've ever been around somebody when CrossFit first came out, they never shut up about CrossFit. Now, I'm stereotyping a little bit, but y'all know who I'm talking about. There was that guy, that bro, CrossFit, bro, CrossFit. That's all they say is CrossFit. Nobody wants to hang around that. Nobody wants to be around that. They don't care, okay? So don't be that guy. The way that you're not that guy is you have a conversation with somebody that you know about something that they're interested in. This is going to be different for some of y'all. Some of y'all might talk about yourselves a little too much. That's okay. Personal development. We're going to get better, okay? We're going to make this about the other person. It's not about you. It's about them. So let's find out what they're dealing with if they're still dealing with something. That's how you avoid the first landmine. The second landmine that we step on is when we figure out the thing that they're dealing with, we become Mr. or Mrs. Fix-It. Okay, I'll give you an example. If you've ever gotten home, you've had a long day. Maybe you sat in traffic a little bit longer than you did the day before. Boss was an absolute terror. It wasn't a good day. You get home and boy, you're hot, bothered, and you are just spewing fire. Your significant other is sitting there just like, whoa, guns blazing, hold up, just a whole lot coming in. And they go, look, I know what your problem is. Hey, no, I don't need to hear anything else. Let me tell you how to fix that. How does that make you feel? I know some of the guys here have done that, and you might have done it in the last 24 hours. If you did, go find your significant other, hug on them, apologize, love on them, say, hey, I'm sorry, I tried to fix it. Why didn't they want it fixed? They wanted to be heard and understood first. That is such a human need. And if you come in as Mr. Fix-It, as soon as you hear they're dealing with that and say, I got some blueberries that you need to try, and it's going to help everything in your entire existence. You're trivializing all the pain that they've gone through. You got to connect with them. You got to let them get that out. And so that's why instead of, are you still dealing with XYZ? They say yes. You don't go, well, let me tell you what I have for you today. It's getting ready to sound like a sales pitch. They don't want to be sold to. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And if you go straight in for the kill, you come in, you're lining them up, got one, That they ain't looking forward to that. That's not how they want to be perceived, as something to be bagged and tagged and take home and put in a freezer and then put up on the wall as a mantle. That's not what they don't want to be, a trophy. They want to be a human being. They want to be connected with. So when you hear that they've got a thing going on and they're still dealing with that thing, you tell them, I'm sorry, you're still dealing with that thing. I made this real simple for the guys. The girls, y'all know what to do here. But the guys, you send this, I'm sorry to hear you are still dealing with XYZ. And where it says XYZ, substitute that for the thing that they're dealing with, just to be clear. All right, we're having fun. The next question you ask them is, how long have you been dealing with X, Y, and Z? You're going to go deeper with them. You want them to talk about what they're dealing with. You want to understand where they're coming from. You want to connect with them. I'm sorry to hear you've been dealing with that. How long has that been going on? What are you doing to address that? What are you doing? Anything going on that you're trying to get over that? Or you got anything that you've been trying? Or what's been going on there? Some variation of these three questions. And here's the deal. If they're still dealing with such and such, and the answer is yes up here, guess what? When we get done with this, they don't have a good solution to the problem, or they wouldn't have the problem. Now you can ask them, how's that working for you? I'm actually getting a little sick and tired of it, to be honest with you. I've tried everything. You've tried everything. Huh. Would you like any help with this situation? Because here's the deal. If you ever run into somebody that complains a lot but don't actually want to fix it, did you know there is zero that you're going to be able to do to help them with that? Because if they don't want to fix it, there's nothing you can do. And that's why we go on to the next person. But most likely, if you go through these steps, they're going to say, well, yeah, what do you got? You're going to say, well, I ran into some people that shared some info with me regarding X, Y, and Z. Can I share that with you? Does it say in here anywhere to talk about Kyani, to explain what this thing does, to do any of those things? No. Why? Because we're not salespeople. Y'all are not salespeople. Y'all are doctors, lawyers, nurses, firefighters, cubicle people, all the different things that are out there, but nobody out there is doing this whole sell thing. And if you are, I highly recommend, if you're a great salesperson, to follow my system. I've got a guy that I'm looking at, that I'm smiling at him, that he came in as one of the top salespeople on the planet. And he can sell some stuff, but it doesn't duplicate. That means you're going to be stuck making sandwiches for the rest of your life. And that's not what we're here to do. If you want to do that, slap some mayonnaise on there and get after it. I'm good with it. But if you want it to duplicate, if you want an exit strategy, if you want true residual income, follow the system. All right, let's move on. I ran into some people that shared some amazing information. Can I share it with you? Yep. Would you be interested in maybe talking with one of them? Maybe they say yes, maybe they say no. If you get stuck, this is why you want to know how to tell your story. If you get lost, tell your story. It sounds weird, but anywhere you get lost, if you just break in with your story, everything's good. Tell your story, point to the thing. What's the thing? In this case, it's Wellness from the Inside Out. It's a private Facebook group. It's got 70,000 members telling their story about what this has done. And that's how you're going to pass the ball. You're going to point them to that. If you got any questions on how to do that, there's a very good chance you're already in this if you're in the business. If you haven't seen this, get with your business partner. They'll walk you through it. It's very, very simple. But it's outside of the scope of what I'm going to talk about here tonight. I'm just letting you know you're going to point them to that. If you get lost anymore, pass them to one of your shooters. That's one of your senior business partners. They will identify themselves to you. If they haven't, or you've gotten lost, reach out to me, Casey Salgi. Let me know. I'll make sure you get pointed in the right direction. All right. Let's keep moving. Step 11, enroll your first business partner. You're getting ready to see some similarities. First thing I want you to do is on that piece of paper, I want you to make a list of the 10 most hungry people you know in your life. These are people that are hungry for, not pancakes, but hungry for more wealth, more time, or more significance. Casey, why do you put significance on there? You'd be amazed at the number of people I've talked to that get started in this business and they're looking through their list of people and they start pre-qualifying people for whatever reason. Oh, they wouldn't be interested in the business partner side. They make too much money already. They wouldn't be interested in that. They're already retired. Notice there's three things in there: wealth, time, and significance. Because here's what I have observed. If you haven't quite hit the level of success that you want to hit just yet, you think that once you hit the success, it's over. It's not. When you hit the success level, you get bored. I know this is hard to comprehend. I thought everybody was full of crap when I heard this the first time. And then when I've actually had a little taste of some success, I realized that significance is the next video game that you go play. We are partnered with billionaires, okay? They don't get up trying to figure out if they have 5 billion, they're not trying to figure out how to get their 6th billion, because that game is kind of boring once you get to a certain, once you play Super Mario Brothers and you win and you get the princess out of the castle, you don't really want to keep playing it. Now, you might go in to do it a little faster and set a new record just to show off and go, look at that. But after a while, it's like, dude, bro, why am I still playing this video game? It's got to have another reason for it. It's got to get into something that's significant. So do not discount people that have made a lot of money, that are very financially well off. That is exactly who you want to start with. They take a look at this charity program. They take a look at the potato pack. They take a look at the systems that's in place. They're looking for ways to be able to do that. They want to fund more water wells that they want to put in different places. They want to be able to go out and feed starving families. They want to be able to go out and help people that don't have a lot. And you are being selfish by pre-qualifying them out of this to even show it to them, to even ask them if they're interested. Because here's what you're doing. You're not doing it because you're trying to be mean to them. You're doing it because you're afraid of what they're going to think of you. Here's the deal. Nowhere in here are you explaining this business. Nowhere in here are you doing a presentation. Nowhere in here are you talking about Kyani. You're going to put them in touch with somebody. You are simply a connector. You do this all the time. If you're not a master plumber and you get done with this video and you go sit in the kitchen to get you a glass of water, and all of a sudden water starts shooting out of your sink and spraying all over the kitchen, and you got a plumbing problem, what are you going to do? You're going to reach out to a master plumber. You're not going to go do that work. You might talk to your friend and say, hey, who is that plumber that you knew? They're going to tell you. They're not going to come over and say, hey, let me come fix your sink. They're not the one to fix the sink, but they're the connector to the sink fixer. When you're talking with some of these high-level people, or anybody for that matter, you are not the person that's going to explain it. You are simply identifying their need. I cannot stress to you how important this point is. The biggest landmine that people mess up on this is they think that they got to be the guy, the one with all the information. It's the hardest thing for me to break people of the habit. The reason is they like being right. To be right means you got to sit here and study this thing for about 3 months to really understand all the stuff that's going on. You don't need to do any of that. You need to simply follow the system and let the system go to work for you. You don't need to reinvent this thing. It's already baked. It's already done. It's already good. So make your list of your 10 people that are most hungry that you know. I rambled on with that a little bit. Hopefully you got your names on here, at least 3 of them. What you're going to do is you're going to reach out to them with this little device right here. Well, it's getting late, Casey. It's almost 10 o'clock where I live, and they're probably asleep already. Send it to them on Messenger. It's not going to matter, okay? They'll turn their ringer off. They've got ways of being able to handle that technology. You ain't going to wake them up by sending them a text. That's just more fear showing up. Don't let that fear get in your way. When you reach out to them, what are you going to do? You're going to say, hi, how are you? You might say, what's up? You might say, hey, girl, whatever it is you do, the same thing that we were doing on the customer side. Same process. Are you still dealing with a lack of XYZ? Which one of these don't you have enough of? You wrote it next to their name. Billy over here would like to be able to have a new set of golf clubs. Heard him say that when we were at the golf course the other day. He wants those new nice ping clubs, and he's got some old raggedy ones from like 1972. He wants to get some new golf balls, some new golf clubs. Hey, you still looking to get some new golf clubs? Yeah, man, why? He's going to light up. You're talking about Billy's favorite thing, golf. Billy doesn't have enough money to play enough golf. He wants new clubs. Billy, you still dealing with the lack of money for your golf clubs? Sure am. Dude, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that you ain't got enough money to go buy some new clubs. How long has this been going on, Billy? Haven't you been working at that job for a while? Yeah, just not making enough. Got too much going on. Billy, what are you doing to address that? How long are you going to go on with a lack of good golf clubs to go play golf? I don't know, man. I've been doing it for a while, but not really being able to find anything that's going to work any better. Billy, how's that working for you, man? It ain't working well at all, Casey. It's actually starting to irritate me. Billy, would you like any help with that? Well, I would, Casey. What do you got? Billy, I ran into some people that have solved that problem. Would you like to hear more about that? What's Billy going to say if you did that? If Billy says no, say, cool, Billy, good luck, man. Hope that $8 an hour job's going to get you those ping golf clubs in the next 14 years from now. You keep doing you, baby. High five. Get out there and get after it. He said he wanted to fix it, but he was just kidding. He didn't really want to fix it. He wanted to complain about it because there's a lot of whiners out there. You're not going to fix the whiners. Don't try. Do not, I repeat, do not sign up for that class. The biggest one that you're going to get, well, I don't have time. Hold up, Billy. I didn't ask if you had time. I asked if you'd like to fix that. You're saying no effectively based on your past, Billy. Your past has gotten you to a point where you don't have enough money for golf clubs. Nobody says no to what this is. They say no to what they think this is. Talk to my guy. Well, I don't want to talk to your guy. Cool, Billy. Have a good day. Or he says, okay, yeah. Would you be interested in talking with one of them? Yeah, I would. If you get stuck, tell your story. Billy, you know how long I've worked where I've worked. I hate my job. I sit in traffic more than I see my kids. But I found this thing they shared with me. I took a look at it. Dude, unbelievable. I'm already making money. I've already got checks coming in. I got checks. I don't know where it's coming from. My future looks very bright, Billy. In fact, I'm going to go buy some new golf clubs this weekend. I might even let you look at them. You want to talk to my guy? Yes, I do. So how do we do that? We do it through a 3-way text message. Chances are you saw this text message when you joined. If you didn't, or you're not clear on that, again, get with your business partner. They'll tell you how they want to use that. Get with your shooter. Casey, I don't know who these people are. Get with me outside of this meeting. We'll chat. I'll make sure I get you linked up with the right people. So here's the picture of the Jade Factory. Let's talk about this because this picture a lot. I think there was 49 revisions we ended up doing to get this just the way that I wanted it. The guy was ready to shoot me that designed this, but that's okay. Well, the artist, I designed it, but he made all the stupid words turn into a picture. So what does this picture signify? This is a Jade Factory, but I zoomed in on it so you don't see the factory down below, but I really want to get this as big as I can because I want to signify what it is that I just said from the customer acquisition and the business partner acquisition. I want to give it to you in a very simple picture. You have a dump truck. You are a part of the Jade Factory. It's got it right there on the hood. You drive this dump truck around and you pick up these little purple pieces of raw material. You just started a list on where those pieces are. They have names on them. You wrote down the names of people that are dealing with a health need. You wrote down the names of people that are dealing with a wealth, time, or significance need. You're going to pick those people up, you're going to put them in your dump truck, and you're going to bring them to this conveyor belt at my factory. When you get it here, there's going to be 3 things that you're going to do with each one of those pieces of raw material. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to flip this little light switch, and you're going to shine a light on some people. You're going to find out what's broken. You're going to find out what's not working so well. You're going to shine a light onto that specific thing, that XYZ that they're dealing with. And you got a pretty good idea what they're dealing with, but that's why you ask, are you still dealing with XYZ? That's you flipping the switch, shining the light on that little piece of raw material. The next thing you do is you're going to weigh on a scale their response. I'm sorry you've been dealing with that. How long you've been dealing with that? Is that something that you would like to fix? Yes, I would. Ooh, that sucker pegged out, man. Somebody's serious. They want some new golf clubs. They're serious. They want to get rid of their fibromyalgia. They want to get rid of the blood pressure. They want to get rid of the diabetes. They want to get rid of all the medications that they're taking, the whole box of them. 17 of them. I've seen people wipe off their slate. Doctor takes them off 17 prescriptions because of this. If they say, yes, I do, you weigh that sucker, they're serious. Then what do? Is you pull that lever. That's the third part. When you pull that lever, it moves them to the next thing. And that's you passing the ball. Well, if you really want to fix that, let me put you in touch with my guy or my girl. They know what they're doing. They are experts in this. In fact, one of these guys, he's on 2 magazine covers. He's retired at 42 years old from corporate America. The budget he ran is about a quarter of the global revenue of what this company does. This dude knows what he's doing. Let me put you on the phone with him. That's when you pull that lever, that sends them to me. Or when you pull that lever, they go a different route. Those are the people that don't want to fix it. Those are the people that are professional whiners. Those are the people that don't want to see that change. So when we pull that lever, where do they go? They either go down the conveyor belt, they pop out as a jade, changing their life, helping people, making money, making health, making time, making significance. Or there's a little river that's there in the back. You see the little blue river? Now behind factories, there's always a river. If you watch any Hallmark channel or any Christmas special, there's some factory that's polluting the river. Ours is no different. We have a river that goes behind the jade factory. We pollute that river with those people that don't want to fix it. That's where the whiners go. Casey, that's harsh. That's mean. It's the truth. This is a very accurate depiction of human nature. There's a lot of people that don't want to fix it. Now, I didn't say there's an incinerator and we burn them up in the fiery pits of hell. I didn't say that. I said we put them on the little river, and it's a nice river, right? It's not too many rapids. It got a nice little bend in it. We put them in a little inner tube. We give them a cold beer. We send them on their way. Oh, you don't want to fix that? You're all good? Great. I had a conversation today. It's so funny. I had a conversation. I've talked to this guy. I worked with him for a long time, and I don't care if he watches this or not, but he'll probably never watch it because he's good doing what he's doing. But his wife had some interest, he said, and I was letting him know all the stuff we got going on. And I reached out to him and I said, hey, man, I got to tell you, I'm blowing things up right now. It is going gangbusters. Your wife used to do something like this, and you said she's about to get a pink slip from where she works at. They're working on a package for her. Would you like to take a look at what I'm doing? No, man, I don't, but she might. Let me check with her. I said, now, when you do, he said, well, she doesn't like selling. I said, cool, we don't sell. Nowhere in here do we sell. I'm going to actually read you. He's going to be famous on this, but I'm going to read to you what he sent me. He replied back tonight. He said, hey, the wife does not want to sell anything. She wants to do real estate or something else instead. She's going to pass on this one. They have no idea what I do. They think it's sales. They're going to, if you're going to do real estate, are you not going to sell real estate? Are you kidding me? But you don't want to sell, but I told you it's not sales. And to sit with me, let me explain it. I built the systems next to you in the darn place we worked at, dude. I'm pretty darn good at what I do. He even said that, but he won't look. You know what I said? Isn't that interesting? Pat him on the butt, put him in the little inner tube, gave him a cold beer, off he goes. Did it irritate me? Absolutely. How can you be that brain dead that you ain't going to look? Why? Because they have prior thoughts about what this is. They're not saying no to what this is. They're saying no to what they think it is. It happens all the time. That's why I put the river in there. That's why I had the guy revise it 14 times just to get the river right, to get the little pieces that float on down. And that's okay. That's part of it. So don't think, oh, I'm different. All my people are going to say yes. No, they're not. And it's okay. We're not looking for everybody. We're looking for the people that are hungry. Next thing as I wrap this up, step 12, upcoming events. Stay plugged in. Stay plugged into what we've got going on. What's interesting is you don't have a lot of different things that we're going to. Last week, if you were around, you saw we had some big events going on. We do that 1 week. We do that twice a year. All right? That's all we do that for. It's an incredible events that we do. We don't do that very often. We like hanging out with our families. We like hanging out with our people. We do this business in our 15-minute increments, but there are some special events that I would highly recommend that you get plugged into. One of them is on Mondays at 9 p.m. Central. We have a little thing called Power Hour. You got some of the best in our organization getting on the screen on one of these Zooms and sharing with you, and you can do this from anywhere in the world. On Thursdays at 9 p.m. Central, we also have Power Hour. We do it twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. You simply go onto the Jade Factory Facebook page, click on events. You'll see the links for that. You'll be good to go. The next big event that we've got that's going to be an in-person thing is going to be on Saturday, October 5th. That's not this coming Saturday. For those that are looking at this here in the next little bit, it's going to be on October 5th. That's 2 Saturdays from now. Make sure that you get your tickets for this. This is from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central. It's $25. And that's for a cost sharing. There's no money made on that. That's simply to cover the room. We're at the Holiday Inn. It's a very nice room, very big room, but there is a limited size on the number of tickets that we can get on that. Okay, so it's going to be a great event, but it's not an infinite size. Make sure you get that ticket as soon as possible. Casey, how do I get those tickets? Go to Jade Factory Facebook page, click on events. If you're anywhere in the area, all right, if you're within driving distance of a couple of hours, you can leave that morning. We have people come in from Corpus. We have people that come in from Abilene. We have people coming from a lot of different areas to come into this event. So don't let that be anything that's going to keep you from coming. A fun event that we do. We do a lot of good work, but we also have a lot of fun. On Saturday, October 19th, Jade Factory Fun Outing at the Texas Renaissance Festival. That's going to be good. It's Pirate Weekend for anybody that wants to get dressed up. And then afterwards, my parents actually have where they live is about 1,000 yards from the Renaissance Festival. And so you got to drive around a little bit to get to it. It's about a 2-minute drive. And then when you're there, it's 10 acres at their place. It's a beautiful setup. There's a stocked pond. If you like to fish, bring your fishing rod, bring your tackle, tear it up. They are biting. You're going to have a good time there. It's a party house. It's set up for a lot of fun. We're going to have fajitas. We're going to have all the fixings, all the trimmings. If you want to stay out there, you're more than welcome to be able to stay. We're going to stay the night. It's a great time. If you have a little too much fun at the Ren Fest, feel free to go ahead and crash there. Or if you need to head back after that, that's completely cool. So all these events, and if you're looking at this down the road, just go to the Facebook page, Jade Factory Facebook page, and click on events. And then our big event coming up, December 11th through the 13th. This is a game changer. This is all the work that we're doing is pushing towards the December event. You've got to get yourself to the MGM Arena in Las Vegas, December 11th through 13th for the 10th annual. I've been going, I think this is my 7th or 8th year I've been going to this thing. I bought about $12,000 worth of tickets in advance 1 year ago so that I could get you all the cheapest tickets that I could get. Now, we're growing so fast that I am going to run out of those tickets. If you want one of those tickets, you need to get with me and you need to get your money in to me on that. All the details for that are on the Facebook page in the event section. Make sure you are plugged into these events. Make sure you go to these events. These events are everything. This is where leaders are made. This is where decisions are made. This is where people get really, really clear on what it is that they're going to do in this business. You might be kind of figuring it out right now. When you get to those events, I promise you, a switch is flipped, man. The knob is turned. You're not the same person when you leave these events. The events made all the change in my life. I cannot recommend them highly enough. Lastly, why did I start? And why did you start? I'm going to tell you why I started. I want you to figure out why you're doing this business. I want you to know what you're doing it for. You got to get crystal clear on this. You got to get really, really certain on what it is you desire. I desired to stop spending so much time in traffic, more in traffic than I was seeing my wife and kids. I was tired of playing politics with people that solely want to tear me down instead of go out and build something. It gets so old. It's so tiring to just continuously be shot at and say, why don't you stop complaining about what I'm doing and go handle your screwed up area? I got really sick of that. I got tired of asking another human being if it was okay if I take my family on a vacation. I didn't need the money from them. I just need them to okay it. You need to come get permission next time before you go take off to go on vacation. The hell are you talking about? I am a grown-ass man. I will go on vacation whenever the hell I choose. Not if you're going to work here, you aren't. Huh. And that was the truth. I didn't like that. I got tired of getting up every day, sitting in traffic, putting up with politics, asking permission to go on vacation so that I could build not the life of my dreams. I needed to build somebody else's dreams. I'm sorry, that doesn't fit well with me. And I finally got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I got tired of complaining about that. I got tired of having the same result year after year. I got tired of doing it every day. I got tired of this year looking just like last one. Let me go sit into this performance review that I know none of y'all talked with any of the people for all of these references that I have. You already made the decision that it's not my turn to get the performance bonus because I got one 2 years ago for that project that I crushed. But yet I crushed the next 2 years worth of projects, but it doesn't matter. It's not my turn. So let's wait till Bozo over there, who hasn't done a damn thing, gets his bonus so that I might have a shot at it in 2 more years. Are you freaking kidding me? And if you think that's not how it works at the top levels, you are mistaken. I want to make a difference. A true difference, not one where, look, we put in some really cool stuff. I am very proud of all the products and all the delivery of the systems that I built for a $16 billion company. We did some really cool stuff, but there's no statue for it. There's no true difference made. When I left, when I retired from corporate America, I promise you, they had me replaced literally in a matter of weeks without batting an eye. Didn't care. Didn't care one bit. If you didn't show up tomorrow and the next day and the next day, you would be replaced by the end of next week. It doesn't make a difference on that. If it does with what you're doing, if you're in a good line of work for that, God bless you. My why is not your why. I'm telling you why I did it. I wanted to make a difference. So you need to figure out what it is that you want to do. You got to figure out what it is that you want to be remembered for. And if you're doing that now, good on you. God bless you. That's what it's all about. It's not that doing this business is the only way. But I can tell you for a lot of people, this is the way. This is what they've been looking for. If you're not clear on that, if you don't get that crystal clear, you're going to have stupid little things kick you out. You're going to have the little idiosyncrasies of the day. The wind's going to blow you and it's going to blow you off track. If you don't have this anchored down that you must reach this goal, then the wind is going to kick you off course. You've got to be so clear on this. Everything I've talked about today, if you're not clear on this step on why you start, your days are numbered. I promise you that. If you're not quite clear on what that is, work on this. Work on digging in on what makes me happy. What drives me? What is it that I want? I'm not sure what I want. What's the first thing that comes into your mind? I'm not quite sure. Release that, let it happen, and ask, why is this important? I want to do this. Well, why is that important to you? Well, because of this. Why is that important to you? Keep asking that question, why is this important to me, until you get down to a feeling, until you get down to the raw nerve feeling. And when you do, and it says, because it makes me feel this way, that way, whatever, when you get to the feel, that's why you started. That's why you do it. I wanted to make a difference. Now I'm the difference. I promised myself I wasn't going to cry. Any of y'all that know me know that's a bunch of crap. Figure out why you're doing this business. Let the emotion out. Let the elevated emotion of what this can do for so many people out. When I started, I was like, dude, if I could make an extra $400 to $600, that would be so cool. If I could have the equivalent of having another rental property worth of income coming in, that would be amazing. Never in a million years did I see what this could do when I first got started. The lives impacted, phenomenal. Being able to rent out a 15,000 square foot mansion for our team in Salt Lake City, in the hills of Salt Lake City, in the neighborhood where the owner of the Utah Jazz hangs out, that's insane. To be at a $15 million house with the guy down there on the bottom left, one of my mentors, insane. Looking at the inside of that mansion on the bottom right, the cars that we've been able to help people attain, hanging out with billionaire founders that come down to feed starving families after a hurricane, never in a million years. But now, as a result of getting in this profession, learning the skills, now I'm a difference maker. And that can be you too, if you desire. So folks, that's the end of our onboarding session. I hope you got tremendous value out of this. I hope you follow the system. If you have any questions about anything in this, please reach out to us. Multiple ways to do that. You can get on Kiani Local on our messenger group. If you're not in that, make sure you get with the person that brought you into the business and say, hey, I need you to add me in there. If you can't get in touch with them or you're not sure who that is, reach out to me, Casey Salgi. Let me give you my phone number, 832-771-0730. Feel free to reach out to me at any time, and I'll be able to get you set up and pointing in the right direction. But folks, take all this information, put it into action. If you watch all of this and you don't do anything with it, it wasn't worth much. Take this, put it into action, go impact a ton of people's lives, and yours will be much better for it, and you will be able to reap those benefits. My name's Casey Salgi. Appreciate you guys coming to the Jade Factory onboarding training. You guys have a great night. We will talk to you next time. Thanks, everybody.